Hello friends, my name is Bowie. I use they, them pronouns. Welcome to our training session. Now, if you are new to training, welcome. Thank you for coming along and trying us out. I really hope you enjoy it. If you are coming back for a session, welcome back. I hope you've had fun with what we've been working with so far, and I hope you're all ready to do some really fun stuff today. Before we jump in though, I do want to acknowledge that these videos are recorded on the stolen lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. Sovereignty never was and never will be ceded, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to give a big thank you to our good pals at Drummond Street Services and Queer Space for joining up with us, helping us make this rad stuff happen, getting it all out to you so that you can move your body a little while you're at home. Now let us begin. We will start with our warm-up. For those of you who have maybe done some sessions before, it might be a little bit familiar for you now. For all of our wonderful newcomers, we start at the top of our body and we slowly work our way down. We're moving our joints in some nice gentle ways just to get ourselves nice and warmed up and ready to do some training. So we will start with our heads, or our necks, specifically our necks. Our heads themselves don't really do much at all. So we're going to start by looking up and down. We're going to bring our chin and we're going to point it towards the ceiling. But what we don't want to have is our head sink back down. So no sinking heads. Our chin comes up, our neck stays nice and tall. We look up and then we look down and we're tucking our chin as close to our collarbone as we can. And we're going to do 10 alternating up and down. So let us begin. Go up, down. That's 1, 2, 3. Keeping your shoulders down as you do this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Once we've done our 10 up and down, we're going to take our ears and we're going to tilt them down to our shoulders, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to alternate left and right. Now don't expect a huge amount of motion here because our necks don't really bend on that side angle really far. So if you're thinking, I'm not really getting anywhere, it's probably because our necks aren't actually designed to do that. And that's okay. You may feel a little bit stiff as well. Totally okay. If you're feeling pain, just ease back off. You want to stop before you get to any points where it's pain, but you just want to feel a stretch down the opposite side of the neck to where we're tilting. So let's start tilting to the right. Our ears come down, our shoulders do not come up to our ears. So we go 1, 2, 3, nice and slow. 4, you might feel some straining in the sides of your neck. It's 5. Hear some crunchy, gritty noises. 6, that's okay. 7, happens when we move our necks in angles. 8, that we're not used to. 9, 1 more. And 10. Well done. Finishing off now, we're going to take our chin and we're going to bring it around as close to a line as that with our collarbone as we can. So we're going to look to the right and then we're going to look to the left, and we're going to alternate left and right here. Same thing again, 10 in each direction, starting looking to the right. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just getting where you can get to here. 6, there's no standard, it's just where you're at. 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. Moving down now, we're going to come to our shoulders. Now, if you're someone who has had shoulder injuries or troubles with your shoulders in the past, what I would recommend is to take your shoulder and just shrug it back and allow your elbow to come out as wide as it comfortably can without causing any discomfort in your shoulder, backwards and forwards. If you're someone who finds that you don't have any troubles with your shoulders, we're going to keep a nice straight arm. We're going to bring our arm straight up, pass it past our ear and back down at the back there. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. We're not just freely windmilling here. We want to be kind to our shoulders because they are a joint with a whole lot of movement and we have to treat them with respect. So we're going to start circling backwards. You're either going to shrug backwards or you're going to do a full straight arm circle backwards. Totally up to you. Work with where you're at because you know your body best. Alrighty, friends, let's go 10 backwards, nice and controlled. 1, 2, allowing a little bit of hip rotation here as well is totally okay. 4, don't try and be like, oh, I gotta say nice and straight. No, it makes it really hard. That's about 7. So allowing that nice little twist in your hips. That could be 9. Let's say that's 10. Well, let's bring it forward and go back the other way. Same thing. Allowing that rotation as your arm comes up behind you. 1, 2, 3, 4. You might get some clicks and pops. 5. That's totally okay as long as it's not painful. Sometimes our shoulders just aren't used to moving these directions. I think that's 8. 9. And that's 10. It's 10 now. We're swapping sides. We're going to go to the left and we're going to do exactly the same thing, starting with either our shrug backwards or our straight arm circle backwards. So let's go nice and slow, nice and controlled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. 7, 8, 9, and 10. You might notice that this arm moves differently to the other. It might not get quite as close to your ear, or it might in fact get closer. Totally okay. Our bodies work in really interesting ways sometimes. Let's bring it forward for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. 8, 9, and 10. Finishing off with our wrists here. Well, that's not the finish actually. That was a very inaccurate statement. We are not even halfway through yet. But moving down to the ends of our arms at least, we're going to our wrists. You're going to tuck your elbows in at your sides just because it makes it a little bit easier to see your hands and what they're doing. And we're going to circle our palms towards ourselves. Nice, smooth circles. We're going to go 10 towards us and then 10 away from us. Just working with where you're at. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Making sure it's our wrists moving and not our elbows. 5. You don't want to be doing this. That's about 8, 9, and 10. One more anyway. Why not? Let's go the other way. Pushing our hands away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Any clicks and pops? As long as they're not painful, it can be really common. Our ligaments and tendons just get a little bit clicky and poppy, especially if they're in directions that we don't usually move our limbs or our appendages, which is often with our wrists. Taking it downtown. We're going to go to our hips now. You want to stand with your feet in a comfortable position. So wherever that may be, somewhere around hip width is going to be good. Don't want to go too wide because that might make these really awkward. And we're going to put our hands on our hips because it gives our hands a job. Our hands like having jobs, otherwise they just kind of float around a little bit weirdly. And we don't want that. So hands on hips. We're going to push our hips as far forward as we can without losing balance here. And then we're going to circle around to the left as far as we can. Push your hips around to the back and then around to the right, back around to the front. We're going to do a full hip circle here. We're going to go 10 to the left and then we're going to reverse that and go 10 to the right. So let us begin. Hips come forward, nice and smooth. 1, making sure our hips are moving here and not our chests. 2, it can be really easy for our heads to start feeling like they're doing a lot of movement, and here is actually not, but our brains think that our hips are doing the moving. It's about 4. It's 5. 6, keep your toes on the ground or you tip backwards. 7. It's 8. 9, and 10. Coming back to our nice tall standing position. And we're going to go back to the way, circle to the right, pushing your hips forwards. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Ooh, clicks and pops are okay, as long as they're not painful. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. Well done. We're going to bring our feet together now, or as close together as you feel comfortable. We're going to be doing some knee circles here, so you might find that your feet together is a little bit uncomfortable. So as close as you can get your feet, totally okay. I will be demonstrating with my feet together because it is the practice I've gotten into. We're going to put our hands on our knees here, once again giving our hands a job. And then we're going to dip our knees forward. We're going to do a little circle around to the left, straighten them up, a little circle around to the right. And that is a knee circle. Don't expect too much sideways movement here. We want to be nice and careful. Just gently getting as far around in that little circle as you can. Definitely not trying to push too far. Our knee joints aren't really made for a lot of sideways motion. Alrighty, 10 to the left, and then 10 to the right. Now let's go. We're going to start dipping them forward, circling around to the left. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't want to be leaning a lot of weight here. 6. We're just touching our hands to our knees, just so they have something to do. I think that's 8, 9, and I think that's 10. Let's go back to the right for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Finishing off now, we're going to come down to our ankles. Now feel free to use a wall, a chair, a broomstick, something if you need some assistance with balancing on one foot. It's totally okay. Anything you need that's close by, if you need to pop over and grab a dining chair just to kind of rest on the back on, because you want to feel good about having one foot off the ground. And if you're a bit unstable or feeling a little bit unsteady, this is not going to be fun. So work with where you're at, and that's totally okay. Whatever support you need for any of this, you use that. You use that friend, you know you, and that's what's important. So work within what you're capable of. Now, if you have your support ready, or you're someone who's comfortable to balance on one foot, what we're going to do is take our right foot and we're going to lift it up, and we're going to circle in to the right. We're going to go 10 inwards and then 10 outwards, and then we're going to swap sides and do the same thing. So starting right foot up, we're going to circle into the towards the left. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now let's swap sides. Same thing again. Left foot comes up, using whatever support you need. You might find one foot is easier to balance on than the other. It's a thing. Circling inwards for 10. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well done. We are going to bring it down to the floor now. So make your way down however you feel comfortable to do so. And we will continue with this glorious warm-up. Welcome to the floor, friends. Maybe you haven't been here in a while. Maybe you are not someone who hops down on the floor. Well, it's actually really great practice. And while we're down here, we're going to keep going with our warm-up. Now our next movement is going to be optional here with what we can do. There's two things. One of them is going to be cobra pose. So if you're someone who feels more comfortable off their hands, like off their weight bearing off their hands for whatever reason, this may be a more comfortable movement for you. Or if you're someone who has stiffness in their back or some movement issues like that, this is a nice kind movement because we're going to start on our stomach, hands under your shoulders, and it's really a self-paced kind of movement. So we're going to raise our chest up off the floor, but only as far as you can. So if you're only getting to here, perfect. That is exactly where you can get to, and it's fine. It's more than fine. And we're going to slowly work on straightening our arms here, bringing our chest up higher and higher off the floor each time, allowing our spines to start to get some flexion in them, because when we spend a lot of time sitting, this angle we're getting our spine on right now, it's not very common for it. So it's actually really nice and relieving on the vertebrae in our spine. And it may be highly uncomfortable for you if you are not someone who does this. You might find it gets a bit grabby here. So long as it's not painful, it can feel quite interesting, quite intense even. But as long as it's not painful, it's okay. It's not actually harmful for your back, unless you are someone who has had a back injury, like a bulge disc in that particular direction, in which case I would avoid this movement to its fullest extent and just keep it nice and gentle. That is our first option. Our second option is a movement called up dog, down dog, a personal favorite of mine. And it starts, we're going to be on hands and knees, curling our toes under into action feet. Action feet because they help us to suddenly start moving like this. Knees come up off the floor, and we're going to push our hips back up. Using our hands, pushing our hips away, bringing our heels down towards the floor, and letting our head just hang here. And then we're going to shift our weight forward over our hands, arching up, letting your hips hover here, looking up at the roof as much as you can, coming back up, and alternating between down dog here and up dog. So they are our two options for the next stage of our warm-up. You can do cobra pose, which is on the floor, hands under your shoulders, slowly straightening your arms. Or if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, up dog, down dog. Either one is going to be amazing for your body. Working at your own pace, we're going to go to 10, either way that you choose. 10 cobras or 10 alternating. So one up dog and one down dog is one full rep. So we're going to do 10 of that. I'll be demonstrating up dog, down dog for you, but feel free to choose where you're at because both of them are really great movements. Alrighty. Going for 10 up dog, down dogs. Bringing our toes under, lifting our knees, pushing our hips back. One, coming forward. That's it. This is 2. 3, that's it. 4. 5. Nice and slow here. We're not rushing through it. So if this is a bit too fast, definitely work in your own pace. 6. And just getting to where you can get to. Your legs don't have to be super straight here. If your knees bend a little bit in this position, that is okay. I think that's 7. It's probably one of these movements you don't want me to lose count on. But that is now 8. 9. One more. If you're doing your cobras, working through nice and slow, progressing towards trying to get your arms straighter and straighter. Coming to hands and knees. If you've been doing cobra pose, we're going to meet here on hands and knees. Because our next movement, we're going to sit back onto our heels as best we can. Take our hands, rotate them outwards and around so that our fingertips face our knees. Then we're going to sit back down onto our heels as best we can, so tops of our feet come to the floor and our palms come to the ground. Ooh, This is an interesting movement, friends. You're most likely going to be feeling a big stretch up the inside of your forearm here. We're going to do a loose 30-second count. So just working with where you're at. Shoulders down away from the ears. If you can't get your fingers this far around, and your palms just rotated, totally okay. I have been doing these for quite a while, and over time you do get more flexibility. So wherever you're starting at is perfect. This that you're starting is the great thing here. And just breathing. If you're finding it a bit uncomfortable, you can shift your butt up off your heels a little bit, and it just eases off, because we don't want to be feeling like lots and lots of discomfort. The point of stretching is not for it to be horrendously uncomfortable. So just work with where you're comfortable to be. That's probably around 30 seconds. So we're going to flip our hands over now. So the backs of our hands are on the ground and our fingers are still facing our knees. Sat back down on the heels, and we're going to hold here for 30 seconds. Again, keeping our shoulders down away from our ears. And we'll be feeling the stretch up the fronts of our arms here. Now you can increase the stretch if you need to by shifting your fingers further away from your knees. So wherever you're at with this one, find that spot where you feel the stretch without it being like painful or totally horrible, and just go from there. Don't forget to breathe. It's really important here. It's so easy to forget to do. But at least we're pretty close to the floor, so if you happen to get a little bit fuzzy, you can just lay down. It'll be okay. Shoulders away from ears. We're breathing. We're enjoying this glorious stretch. Isn't it delightful? Feeling all the interesting sensations that this position puts our fingers in, tingles and all sorts of stuff. That's about 30 seconds. So flipping our hands back over. Just going to give them a shake, because your wrists may not be used to those sorts of angles and they may feel a little bit like they don't know what's going on right now. We just want to reassure them with a gentle little shake. Loosen them up. Coming back to our hands and knees. We're going to flip our hands over here. Our palms are going to be facing up. We're going to have our shoulders and our hands aligned. So, yep, about that. And then we're going to slowly bring our chest down to the floor, keeping a lot of your weight on your legs here, because we don't want our hands to be super heavy. Just enough that you feel that there's some pressure there, but not full body weight coming down. And as you press up, closing your fists and actually rolling your wrist up as you do so. This is why we don't want a lot of weight here. Once we're in this closed fist position, we open our hands out and bring our wrists back down. Now you don't want them thudding into the ground, so really take it nice and slow. Don't be putting too much weight onto your hands at this point. Coming down. We're going to work through 10 of these. So that's about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's it, 8, 9, and 10. And once we get to our 10th one, at the top here, we're going to keep our fists closed and we're going to stay on our knuckles. Avoid thumbs out. This is bad news. This is not really nice on our thumb joints at all. So we want to tuck our thumbs in front of our fingers here, not be putting any pressure on them. Our fists are quite strong in this position, even if it is uncomfortable. Fists are pretty strong in this position. From here, we're going to do exactly the same sort of push-up motion, but we're going to keep our fists closed. So we're going to come down and up just like that for 10. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Opening our hands and putting them flat on the floor. We're going to finish up this most majestic of warm-ups by keeping our fingers stuck to the floor and raising our palms up as high as we can. So you may not get a lot of range here, and it may feel like super tight through the skin or like all sorts of strange discomforts. That's okay. Not making sure not to put too much weight on our hands here. We want to be able to lift our wrists up without feeling like we're going to strain something. And we're going to go for 10. So fingers stay stuck, palms come up, wherever you can get to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that is it. We are sufficiently warmed up and ready for action. Hello friends, welcome to our first round of the session. Woo! Yes, we are starting on the floor, if you have not noticed, so please make your way down to your floor. Find a spot. You don't need a lot of space, about a body length of space. And we're going to work with that. So we're going to start. I will share the 3 movements we're going to do today through this first round. And then we'll jump in and we'll progress through them, keeping it nice and chill. Remember, we're not rushing through here. There's no time limit we're supposed to be working on. Just keeping it nice and mellow, moving our bodies a little, feeling good about it. That's what this is all about. So we're going to start with a plank step out. Yes, thank you, Blackboard. A plank step out. Now, I'm going to give you 3 different options that you can use here. Our first option will be the standard variation, which I will be using. But you have other options, friends, and we will work through them all. So first option will be from a tall plank. So our hands are under our shoulders, feet are together, and we want to make sure that our hips are nice and level, so we don't want to be sagging and we don't want to be all pointy-butted. So we want to have a nice even distribution of weight between our hands and feet. Then we're going to take our left foot, step it out, back to the center, and then our right, and back to center. I'm going to alternate left and right for 10. So that'll be 5 on each side. We have another variation where you can go from your elbows if you feel more comfortable to be off your wrists. So same thing. Down on your elbows, back stays nice and level, and you can go here from your elbows in a low plank. And our third option is going to be from an incline. So you can use a bench, you can use a wall, a kitchen bench, table, back of a lounge, whatever. Something that gives you an incline that you feel comfortable to use. And preferably that does not have the potential to slip away from you because that will not be fun. If you're using an incline, hands are going to be in line with your shoulders. So just on a nice, no wider than shoulders, no narrower. Nice straight line there. We're going to be in that plank position as well, so we want to keep our back nice and straight. And we're going to step out exactly the same from where we're at. Out and back to center. Whole time we're going to focus keeping our stomach nice and tight. So that is our first exercise. Almost hop back on the ground there. Before I got to demonstrate our second exercise, which is a squat, the bread and butter of movement. So we're going to start. You're going to have your feet pretty much wherever feels comfortable, wider than hips. Don't go narrow or don't go hip width. You're going to be wider. But whereabouts exactly is going to be up to you and your hips. So have a play around. I cannot give you a particular position because every person is different, because everyone's hips are different. So find that point that's comfortable for you. Your toes are going to be slightly outwards. Note, in saying that, you don't want to have super duper wide feet. So I'd say anywhere around shoulder width to closer towards hip width, but not hip width or less. Toes are slightly outwards. That way, when we squat down, our knees are going to follow our toes. It's going to help keep our knees safe. Now I like to put my hands in front of my chest here because it gives them a job. Hands like jobs. So I give my hands the task of holding themselves in front of my chest. Also helps to keep my chest up as I squat. Bonus. Once I've found the comfortable foot position for me, I keep my chest up. Now I breathe in as I lower myself down. I push my hips back. I'm aiming for parallel here with my legs, but if you can't get there, totally okay. Get to wherever you can get to. There is no standard here. Work with where you're at. Once I'm at the bottom of my squat, keeping my chest up, I stand back up nice and smoothly, and I breathe out as I do it. So I breathe in, I breathe out. I breathe in, I breathe out. Now, if you are not comfortable with that, or you're still working on developing your squat, you can use a bench or a chair in exactly the same way. You're going to stand in front of it. Set your feet up as you would if you didn't have a chair there. And then you're going to squat down and just touch the chair with your butt and then stand back up. And it's going to be able to support you if you are finding it hard to stand back up, or if you're a bit worried that you might get stuck at the bottom. Totally use what you've got to help you feel good about moving these ways. And a chair is one of the best items to use to assist you with a squat. Once we've done some squats, we're going to drop it back down onto the floor. And we're going to do what is called a frogger. Now, I will give you a second variation here because some folks cannot get into this particular position, and that is okay. By no means am I saying you have to suddenly be able to do this, because that's not possible for some people. So I will demonstrate this particular movement for you, and then I will give you options, friends, as always. Do not worry. But if we are doing a standard frogger, we start in as low of a squat as possible. Now, if you want to give it a go, but you can't squat this low, but your squat's like here, totally okay. You can work with this. What we're doing is bringing ourselves forward, shifting our weight onto our hands. We're doing a little hop, bringing our chest back up. See why it's called a frogger? We're like, just like a little frog. Ribbit, ribbit. And hopping. We're going to go 6 hops. So I've got space to do 3 in each direction here. So that's how I'm working. But work with where your space is. If you can do 6 hops in one go, bonza. Totally do that. Hopping back, bringing my chest up in between. Now, if you find it difficult to do a frogger, I'm going to give you a little challenge on helping to develop your squat for you. So you're going to be on hands and knees. You're going to have your knees maybe hip width or a little bit wider. And what you're going to be doing is focusing on rocking back onto your heels. See, this is essentially the frogger, but just not on your feet. This is the position. So we're going to work on this. Pushing back and then rocking forward onto our hands. A little bit of weight goes on our hands. We sit back down towards our heels and rock it forward. Nice and slow. Nice and relaxed like that. If you need to put some cushioning under your knees because you may have like knee troubles or anything like that, totally okay. You roll a foam mat up, put some cushions under there, support your knees. That is perfect. But you're going to rock. We're going to rock for 6 if that's the case. If we're here in this position, just getting as far back as we can and rocking it forward. And that is going to be awesome as well. So, all right, friends. Starting with our plank step outs now. Remember, you can go that low variation or that inclined on a bench variation. We're going to go for 10 alternating steps. Starting nice tall plank here, I'm demonstrating. Hands under shoulders, back is nice and level, feet are together. We're going to step with our right foot first. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well done. Stepping it up. 10 squats with whatever you're working with on a bench, freestanding, hands in front of the chest. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring it back down. For our froggers or our rocking, maybe we're going for 6 hops or 6 rocks, whatever you feel comfortable to do. Go, 1. Keeping our chest up nice and tall. 2, 3. These hops can take some getting used to, so if they feel a bit awkward at first, it's pretty normal. 1, 2, 3. Now we're not going for big hops here either. Don't want to try and get your feet too far ahead of your hands. That's when trouble happens. We are 1 set through, friends. Let's keep it going. Back at the top with our plank step outs. Setting ourselves up, stepping it back. That's it. Nice even distribution of weight between our hands and our feet. Right foot steps out first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Making our way to our feet, nice and slowly. Don't want to give yourself a head rush. 10 squats. Setting our feet up in our comfortable position. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Making sure as we squat down that our knees follow our toes. 9, so they're going to push outward just a little bit. And 10. Froggers or rocks. Here we go. 6 of either. Feel free to alternate as well. Try them both out, see what works for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One more time. We just have one more set to get through here, friends. Doing really well. Back to our planks. Remember, resting as you need as well. Don't feel like you got to rush through all of this. Take your time. Catch your breath if you have to. Coming into a tall plank. Even weight between our hands and feet. Everything's nice and stable. Stepping with our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 squats. Yes. Set our feet up, toes slightly out, hands in front of chest. We want to squat down. We're going to push our knees to follow our toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Froggers. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One round down. Have a drink, have a breather. You're doing really well, friends. Want to jump back in? Round 2 is coming up. Welcome to round 2, pals. We have another 3 exercises to work through. This time we are pretty much staying on the floor though. Yay! Don't cheer too early. We've got some fun stuff coming up. We're going to start with a side plank. Now you've got 3 options here for your side plank. We've got a standard tall side plank, which is what I'll be demonstrating. Everything stays nice and level, hips stay nice and straight, holding that. You can go down to a low plank here, so elbow under shoulder, hip comes up, exactly the same thing. If you want to hold your hand up here, you can. That is our second option. And our third option, we're going to use our trusty incline implement, whether it's your kitchen counter, couch, a chair, as long as it's not going to shift anywhere on you. And we're going to stretch ourselves out in a nice straight line and hold from that incline. So any of those options are going to be perfect for you, but work with where you're at. You know you best. So if you're feeling good about any of those, have a crack at them, friends. Next movement is a bench glute bridge. Now, you can use a bench, you can use a chair if it's stabilized against a wall. Your lounge would be a great one for this, or a coffee table, provided it's not going to slide away. But what we're going to do is we're going to just rest our feet on top and lift our butt up like this. You're going to feel it in your butt. You don't want to have a whole lot of weight on your neck though, so make sure you're out on enough of an angle that all the pressure is not sitting on your neck. So make it work for you. We're going to hold this. Now if you feel uncomfortable to put your feet on a chair and do that, you can do a standard glute bridge, which looks like this. Feet on the ground, hands out to your sides, holding your hips up nice and tall, and you can just hold in this position. Totally okay. Either one of those is going to be perfect. And we're going to finish off with what is called a Superhuman Pulse. We're going to get our backs working a little bit here. So we're going to start on our stomach. I like to have my hands in front of my chin here, just to keep things safe. Point my toes, tops of the feet are going to be on the ground. And I'm going to lift my legs up so that my knees come up off the ground. And at the same time, I'm going to lift my chest up as high as I can, and then I'm going to come back down. So lift my legs up, lift my chest up, and come back down. I'm not really trying to strain it here. I'm just getting to where I can get to without really pushing it. I'm just going to do some gentle pulses. If you are someone who feels a bit uncomfortable to have your chest and legs lifting up at the same time, you can keep your legs down and just gently lift your chest up. And that's totally okay. Or you can have a go at keeping your chest down or just raised up on your elbows a little bit and lifting just your legs up. So try out some of those variations if you're finding that it's a little bit hard on your back, because one of those 2 options may be a really good one for you. Now, starting with our side plank here, we're going to go for 10 seconds. This is going to be a 10-second Bowie counting, so I make no claims about the accuracy of this 10 seconds, but it will be somewhere around there. We're going to start on our right-hand side here. If you're doing a tall variation, you start with your hand under your shoulder. If you're doing an elbow, hand on the shoulder. If you're using your bench, it's going to be out just a little bit, but that's okay. What we want to focus on here is having a nice straight body. Now, I also like to use my opposite hand to get myself into position. Trying to do that one-handed can be really quite challenging. So we get ourselves into our tall plank position, making sure our hips stay nice and forward, that our bodies are nice and level. And we're going to go 10 seconds, 10 seconds of Bowie counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bringing our hand down, sitting our hip to the floor. I'm going to turn around, but you don't have to do that. You can just swap sides by flipping over, but I do want to keep chatting to you. And I don't think my back of my head is as interesting as the front of it. Same thing again here. We're going to set ourselves up by using our opposite hand to help bring us up into position, because we want to be kind to our bodies. We don't want to make this super horribly challenging and not fun. Alrighty, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring your hands down. Ta-da! Coming over to our bench, our chair, our couch, our anything you plop and feel like using for our bench glute bridge, or doing it straight from the floor. Either way is perfect. Setting ourselves up, feet on the edge of the bench, and we're going to push down with our heels and bring our hips up off the floor. And we're going to go for a 10-second Bowie count. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bringing our butts down. Amazing. Rolling it over, crawling over to our spot for our superhuman pulses. You don't have to crawl anywhere, you can just roll over, as long as you've got enough space for your legs when you lay on your stomach. Alrighty, we've got 10 pulses to get through. Thank you, Blackboard. When we're ready, we're not pushing, remember, just nice gentle lift, getting as far as we can get to. Alrighty, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. One time through, onto our tall planks, our elbow planks, our incline planks. From the side, doesn't matter which one you do, shake it up, do one of each. We've got 3 rounds and 3 alternatives. Why not? Whatever one you're trying, get yourself set up. We've got a 10-second hold coming up. Hand under the shoulder, using our opposite hand to help ourselves get into position, making ourselves as stable as we can in this precarious position, bringing our hips down to level, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bringing our hands down. Swap sides. Doing well. This is quite a difficult movement. So just take your time. If you can't hold the whole 10 seconds, totally okay. You don't have to hold the whole 10 seconds. Hold as long as you feel good about holding for. If you get to the 10, amazing. If you don't, equally as amazing. Alrighty, setting ourselves up, hand under the shoulder, shifting our hips up, finding our level position. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring yourself down. Awesome. Making our way over to our bench. One time it is totally legit to crawl to our next station. Crawling comes in handy. Alrighty. Setting ourselves up. Feet on the edge of the bench or feet on the floor if that's what's working for you. We're going to have a 10-second hold. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bringing our butts down. Roll it over. Coming to our Superhuman Pulse. Here we are again. On our stomachs. Remember, if you feel like you need to lift just your legs or just your chest, totally okay. 10 of those of one end, perfect. If you want to try both, perfect. 10 pulses. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Amazing. One more set to go. back to our tall planks or elbow planks, our incline planks from the side. 10 more seconds on each side. Are we ready? Hand comes under the shoulder. Legs come out if we're doing a tall side plank, or if you're doing any of the planks. Hand comes to ground to help lift us into position. Taking that moment, finding where we're level. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Coming down, swapping sides. Same thing again, setting ourselves up. Legs extended, hand under shoulder. Using our other hand to help us into position. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Coming down. Good work, friends. Over to our bench for our last set of bench glute bridges. 10-second hold. I'm way too far away. Alrighty. Setting ourselves up. Remembering if you need to go just from the floor with your feet, totally okay. 10-second hold. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well done. One more set of Superhuman Pulses. That's not a song, Bowie. Alrighty, here we are. 10 pulses, and then we are done with this round. Setting ourselves up, working with where we can get to. If you can't get all 10 in now, because this is a bit of a challenging movement, and our backs get tired quite easily, just getting to where you can get to. Alrighty, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. This was an interesting round. Floor work does not always mean easy work. I think you've done really excellent today. We've got one more round to go, so stick around, friends. Have a drink, mop that brow, catch your breath. I'll see you back in just a moment. Welcome to round number 3. We are starting standing for our lucky last round. We are beginning with trusty old lunge steps because single leg work is the best work. Lunge steps perfectly simulate walking, so it's really great to train with using them because it's probably one of the most commonly used movements that we ever do. Lunge steps are walking with an exaggerated knee bend. Maybe not getting so many places. But let us get started with a lunge. Now feel free to use a broomstick or a couch or something for support here if you need some stability as you bring yourself down. Totally okay, there is nothing wrong with that. It's actually really smart to be working within your limits because you know your body and you know where you're at. Now we're going to start standing nice and tall. As always, good posture makes a good movement. Eyes are up, chest is up. I like to give my hands a job by holding them in front of me. I take my right foot and I bring it back. I find it easier to step back for a lunge step, but if you want to step forward, no judgment here. Step forward, totally okay. Bringing our knee down, back up, stepping forward. Keeping that weight over the back leg. I'm going to swap sides. Same thing. Weight goes over the back leg, not the front leg. And we're going to alternate left and right, using any stabilizers that we need and getting as low as you can. So don't think just because I demonstrated a certain height, that's where you've got to get to. Not possible sometimes. So work with your limits, work with where you're at. What's up next? Blackboard, chest taps. Thank you. Coming down to the floor. I'm sure you're not quite sick of floor work yet, so I thought I'd just chuck a little bit more in. We're going to do a chest tap. Now, I know we've done these at some point previously because they are fun. You can have your feet apart a little bit for some stability or together, your preference. And we're going to just lift one hand, tap, tap, alternating left and right. If you want to get a little bit adventurous here, you can reach it around and tap, reach it around and tap, because why not? Make those hands fancy. Or you can bring it back a little and go from the knees, tap, 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 totally okay. Or you can go from your trusty incline, always an option, always an amazing option. Find your bench, your couch, whatever, and doing the same thing, shifting your hands back and forward, using that tap. However works for you, you rock that, friend, because they are all perfect options. Finishing off with a bit of a new one here, we're going for a tricep push up. What? I know. We're going for 6 of these. So what we want to do is bring our hands in closer under us. Now, they don't have to be right under us. If you want to, you can get thumbs touching underneath. So if they're straight out, which makes your hands a little bit narrower than your shoulders. And we're going to go from here because this forces your elbows to stay really close to your body. So our first option is from our toes, thumbs touching, pushing up. We have another option here, which is from our knees. Exactly the same thing, coming down, pushing up, or taking advantage of that trusty incline again, bringing your hands to a diamond here. Wrap. And same thing, coming down and pressing up. Any one of those, it's going to be perfect. They are our 3 movements for our lucky last round. We're going to work through them 1, 2, 3 times, and then you are finished. So let's start with standing from our lunge steps, alternating 10 left and right. So that's 5 each side. Stepping forward or backwards, however you feel comfortable. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Taking our time here. We don't want to rush a lunge step. We want nice controlled movement. 8, 9, 10. Amazing. Coming down to the floor, we have our chest taps. Hands line up under our shoulders. Our feet are back. Either hip width or together, whatever works for you. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you can bring your knees down here. You may be coming back into this position, so feel free to give yourself just a moment. We don't have to go straight from chest taps into our tricep push-ups, unless you really want to, in which case, definitely do that. But it is your call. When you're ready, bringing our thumbs together to meet. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Hands are in line with our shoulders. They won't be under them, but they'll be at the same level of on our chest as them. Now, same thing again here. Feet together, feet apart. Your call. And we're going for 6 of these. Yes. Alrighty. Eyes are forward. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bringing our knees down to the floor. That's one circuit done. Starting the top again with our lunge steps. We have 2 more times to get through here. So just working through at your own pace. Alrighty, right foot steps either forward or backwards, your preference. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost there. 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. Back down to the floor. For our chest taps, we're doing 10, alternating left and right. Hands around our shoulders, stepping our feet back. Hips are nice and level. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Coming down. Giving ourselves that moment. Breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Really good for helping to slow your heart rate down. If we do a lot of in through our mouths without using our nose, it can actually speed our heart rate up a bit. So forcing our air to come down through a narrower air passage by breathing in through our nose and then out through our mouth helps slow our heart rate down. We catch our breath a lot faster. Alrighty. Tricep push-ups. Thumbs come together. Fingers are nice and wide. Bringing our feet back. Maybe you can use your incline here or from your knees. We're going for 6. Breathing in as we come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. One more time with our lunge steps, with our chest taps, and our tricep push-ups. 10 alternating lunge steps. Remember, keeping our weight on that back leg. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. Ooh, balance, friends. 10. Does get harder as we get tired, which is why we have to stay mindful that we're moving really with care. Because little slips like that, if we're not moving carefully when we're tired, that's when we hurt ourselves. Chest ups. Let's do this. 10 alternating left and right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Coming down. Give ourselves a moment. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We have 6 tricep push-ups left. And then we are done. This is so good. We're working through, we're taking our time, and that's what it's about. We don't need to be smashing ourselves. No training session do you need to be going all out, unless you want to. But good stuff comes with slow, controlled movements. Trust me, pals. Alrighty. We have our tricep push-ups left. Just 6. From your toes, from your knees, from a bench. You could have tried all 3 as you've gotten a little bit more fatigued. That's okay. Exploring movements. There is no such thing as failure. Only new ways to learn to move. Alrighty. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. And those ones are challenging. Oh. But satisfying to be able to do. Well done, friends. It's been a nice chill session. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Hope you've worked through at your own pace. Maybe found some new things that you can do. But regardless of how you went, well done for starting. Well done for doing what you can. That's what counts. If you've started, then you've already succeeded. So take care of yourself. Have some water now. Make sure you have a big drink. Have a rest. Have a wonderful time. I hope what happens after this is nice for you. And well done. Alrighty, I will see you next time.